I'm not addicted to bread. I can quit anytime I want. Just don't want to. Duck Detective, the Ghost of Glamping. So, if you saw my last review of the first Duck Detective game, then it's more of the same. That's kind of it. This is one of those sequels where it's not doing really anything in terms of iterating, changing things up. But like, if I'm being honest, I do think that is a fair way to approach something like a mystery adventure series, where you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. You can just give a new mystery in the same format, which is what this is. Like the last one, it's fairly short. I think this ran me about 2.5 hours. I think I got through it slightly quicker than the previous one, though that might just have something to do with my knowing the format better now, where I was discovering it last time. But in case you didn't see my review of the previous one, that's where I get to make a video that's longer than a minute and a half. So, Duck Detective is set in an anthropomorphic setting. You play the titular Duck Detective. You are a divorced duck who is a detective. You also have a bread addiction. And it starts out with you currently crashing with the one other repeat character from the previous game, a gator whose name I now forget. I'm real bad with names. I remember the Duck Detective's real name is Eugene. Freddy. Freddy's the gator. Ha! There we go. You're crashing with him, and you end up, the two of you finding yourself at a glamping site. Not camping, glamping. And there is a mystery. And you go about it in very much the same way as last time. You talk to everybody, you find clues, you try and figure out certain parts as it goes, and as like you figure out each mini mystery, it creates a bigger picture. And the way you figure out the mini mysteries is by going through, talking to everybody, gathering all the information like names and occupations and pastimes and everything like that. And then in your journal, there's these statements that have a bunch of blanks. Like there's a blank for a name and there's a blank for a job. So you're like, okay, well, I figured out that this person has this job. And like as it goes, the statements get bigger with more blanks to fill in and more options than you have spaces. So like you could brute force it, but as it goes, it gets pretty rough. I'm not going to say that I didn't do any brute forcing. At a certain point with some of them, I had like everything but one thing in there that I hadn't figured out. I'm like, I guess I'll just try everything that I have remaining until I get a hit. And that did work, but I do feel that that's kind of fair enough as far as that goes. Like, you don't want to get hung up on something because there's one detail that you missed, or you didn't, in your head, you didn't put the pieces together quite the way the designers had intended. So I think allowing for a tiny bit of brute forcing like that, but not letting you do that the whole way through just because of the way it's designed, is a solid way to approach a mystery like this. Tone-wise, it is primarily comedic, as you would guess by the title, and also the art style. So this is a whole new cast of characters. There's a shocking amount of lore in this series. It came up in the last game too, that like some of the aspects of the country that you're in and like its political place in the larger world actually like has plot relevance, which is, I don't know, strikes me as odd with a series like this, but yeah, okay. And there's a healthy mix of characters. Nobody feels like a full repeat, or like they just kind of copy and pasted one of the previous characters and like just gave it a different look and a different name. No, they feel distinct, even though there are some recurring archetypes. The authority figure who maybe has done something a little shady, the person who has an obsession. Like in that sense, they kind of fit the archetypes, but those are like kind of archetypal characters of mystery stories. So like in terms of core personality, this is, at least to my memory, remembering from last time I played a Duck Detective game, I didn't feel like anybody was a straight up repeat of the last time. The game, it felt smaller. It felt like it had a smaller location to take place in. I don't think it actually did, though. I think maybe the reason that I felt that way was a couple of things. The first is the previous game was the first time I'd played a game like this, and so, you know, just by feeling new, it kind of, you know, felt like more. But I think another thing is that the previous game, the different locations felt more distinct. Here, with the exception of like one place you go towards the end, almost everything is just outside. You know, here's this part of the glamping site, here's that part of the glamping site, here's this part of the glamping site that's on the shore of the lake, but it's, you know, it's kind of the same thing all the way down. Whereas the previous game, you know, the office that you spent a lot of time in felt more distinct from the reception area, which felt more distinct from the manager's office, which felt distinct from the parking lot. Whereas here, like I think the total number of rooms is the same or possibly even bigger, but just because it all felt very similar, it somehow made the space feel smaller. That just might be a me like getting inside my own head thing, though. I don't think that's actually a problem with the game. And if you like point and click adventures, if you like mysteries with a bit of comedic edge, I feel like these games are reasonably priced. I think they are a good time, and you get your money's worth because they're not particularly expensive games, and they shouldn't be for how short they are. With the way they're structuring it, I do have to wonder if, like, after they do a third one, if they'll start putting out like compilation editions where it's just like all, you know, 3 mysteries all put together. Because it's not like there's a massive running plot, but this does chronologically take place after the last one. It could just be the second act in a game. I guess I'm kind of thinking a little bit like Dark Side Detective in that way, which had, you know, like, I forget how many in each game. It was like between 6 and 12 in each game, little mysteries that varied in length. This feels like where you're kind of getting the smaller mysteries drip fed to you a little bit in installments, which again, I don't bemoan. And that's not actually criticism. It's just kind of an acknowledgement of kind of what it feels like. But I did enjoy it, and I'd be happy to come back to this setting and these characters again. So if they plan to make more, I'm here for it. Duck Detective, the Ghost of Glamping. What did you think of this one? If you have played it, did you play the first one? Do you have a different adventure mystery game that you like to play or would like to recommend? I do like point and click adventures. And this one, by its structure, is pretty free of the moon logic problem that some of them have. So I'm quite partial to these. But whatever your thoughts are on any of this, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living, even if you can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe. Those all help me out. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. And now it's time to thank my highest supporting patrons. Robin Moore, Quite Bearish, Zubin Lutfula, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casper, Dave Hall, Andre, Movie Turtle, Oliver B, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Mary Mello, Iron, Becky Sparks, Loki Eris, Tracy Scrabbit, and Sir Didymus is my favorite. We have a new little guy here under my hair. That's Satyr. So yes, he can now join in the distraction chorus as I try to read names. Thanks, guys. Welcome to the family.